appraisal came in low. Now what? Well, first of all, don't stress. As a seller, there are things that you control in the selling process, but the appraisal isn't one of them, right? And so first things first is to remember that the appraisal is needed whenever there is a mortgage involved. It's the bank's way of protecting themselves and the buyers from overpaying on a home, right? Hey guys, I'm Kizzy. I'm a real estate agent here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Today we are talking about what do you do when the appraiser's value is less than your asking price. Well, there are 6 ways that sellers can bounce back from a low appraisal. Number 1 is to reduce the price of the house to the appraised value. And so as the seller, you can always sell the house at the appraised value without negotiating with anyone, right? And this is the fastest way to recover from a low appraisal. Number 2 is to have the buyer make up the difference. In some cases, the buyer may have enough cash on hand to cover the differences between the appraisal and the selling price at closing. If the buyer feels confident that the value is there for them, despite the appraisal, then they can simply add cash to the down payment and the lender should be satisfied with that. And Number three is to meet in the middle. If both parties still want the sale to go through, it could make sense. It could make sense to split the difference with the seller dropping the price a bit and the buyer adding cash to the down payment. For example, if the difference between the sales price and the appraised value is $10,000, then the seller could lower the price by $5,000 and get the buyer to bring an additional $5,000 to closing. This solution depends entirely on the willingness and the financial positions of both parties. Number 4, you can challenge the appraisal. And this option is a bit of a long shot. Only the appraiser's client, which is the lender, can demand a review of the appraisal, and only the buyer can request a review or a second appraisal. And so as the seller, you can support the buyer in this effort by sharing the competitive market analysis that you received from your agent, or by giving them the results of an independent appraisal that you may have had done. You can also offer to split the cost of a second appraisal if the lender agrees. This route has long odds because the decision is ultimately up to the lender, and the lender doesn't have the same investment in the transaction that the buyer or the sellers have, right? And so if the lender doesn't have a compelling reason to doubt the appraisal, then that lender, that tends to be the end of the line, right? And so in my experience, a small percentage of these requests has been granted. Number 5, you can put the house back on the market. If the buyer can't or won't put more money down and you're not interested in reducing the price, then you can take your chances by allowing the deal to fall through and putting the house back on the market. This can be disappointing to everyone involved, however, but if you're in the situation because multiple offers brought the offer price above the asking price, then it may not be a bad way to go, right? You could get lucky and receive a cash offer when the agent relists the home on the market. And in that scenario, the appraisal wouldn't be an issue, right? It wouldn't need to be an appraisal done. Number 6, stay calm. The hardest tactic is also the most simple. Above all, stay calm, look at the facts, and let your agent do the negotiating for you. And as a bonus tip, homeowners who are considering putting their house on the market can have a pre-listing appraisal conducted to get a better sense of the market value of the home. Doing so can help determine a realistic asking price, increasing the likelihood of a fast sell. And so that's it. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Go ahead and hit the follow button and send me a DM or a comment with any questions, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. Have a great day. Bye.